Hey gang, Roy Free Sr. back again. Today I wanted to talk about Mike Mentzer and his high intensity training program. There seems to be a lot of recent interest in it, some positive, some negative, and I wanted to talk about particularly the negative and why is that so. And about the most negative uh, review that I could possibly find is from Leroy Colbert, who I have a lot of respect for. He's, a natural trainer back in the day, first guy to get 21-inch arms. But I'm just going to give you some of the audio from one of his videos where he's talking about Mike, and then we'll just go over a couple of the more modern ones and see what they have to say, and we'll go from there.
um, you're going back to the old school, and I get quite a few uh, emails. It sort of surprises me because they talk about Mike Mentzer. I don't know if you ever heard of him. A lot of it, he was a pretty, accomplished bodybuilder, but he had a very serious psychological problem. He really did have his not pertaining just to his training, but to him. But to get back to his training methods, they were absolutely ridiculous. I don't know how training one body part once a week. I mean, he came up with stuff that was completely off the charts. Nobody even took him seriously then, but I see guys are still talking about it like it could be some viability to it. It wasn't any viability to it. Mike was a nice guy, and I don't know if it influenced his very heavy workout. I never even delved into it because it was so ridiculous what he was putting across. That wasn't even worth talking about training your body part once a week and all that. I mean, it was crazy, absolutely crazy. And the sad part about it, and I don't know if he did flip out. He flipped out completely. I mean, he went nuts. And he had to be hospitalized for a while. And I guess maybe that's why he came out with that heavy duty workout, maybe because his mind wasn't working right. And I don't want to put him down per se, but I get so many emails with people trying to connect. Well, see, my problem is this, my friends. I'm too realistic. I cannot get involved in fantasies and things that don't even make any sense. That program that Mike put across, and I don't know why I'm answering the emails, but I've gotten quite a few emails talking about Mike Mentzer and his routine. I don't even know. I didn't know Mike that well. I knew him. We talked, but we weren't bosom buddies or anything. And I felt terrible when he broke down completely. I mean, he broke down mentally completely. Him and his brothers both died. Extremely young, one after the other. And he was just such an oddball, and his routine was odd. And so you more or less dismissed him. And if you talked to him, he didn't talk to you like he was something wrong with him. But at routine, he propound, and people are looking at it like it has some possibility, and it fascinates me. And if it was anything to what he said, you wouldn't have to be digging and talk about it. It'd be out there. Let me tell you something, my friend. There's nothing works. That's a secret. If somebody tells you, have you heard, walk away. Because if it works, you heard about it. There's no secret. Nobody's working in the basement. Now, maybe inventing something, science. But I'm talking about when it comes to exercise. Nobody in the basement does some special little training that only he whisper about. It's bullshit. He didn't whisper about that training he did, which I must admit, my friends, I've been in training too long. When Mike came up with that stuff, I dismissed it like he said, shit with sugar. Because I didn't know what the hell he was coming from. I don't know if he was doing it to draw attention or what. But I'm telling you, it's nothing for me to discuss. And if you know anything about training or want to know anything about training, you know what he per pound is ridiculous. So that's one of the reasons I'm just answering, because I get emails. I'm like fascinated. What are they talking about? Mike, it was like, it was insane. It wasn't even worth looking at or examining because it was so ridiculous. But in any case, I just want to, because I got about maybe 10, 12 emails on it in the last 6, 7 months. And I said, Mike Mentzer, him and his brother, I think it was Ray Mentzer, they were a tragic case. They both died within a few days of each other, very young. But in any case, my friends, I just brought this up and quickly, and if you guys are following me, you see what I have to say about it. And I shouldn't even bother answering, but I felt, what is this? Why are guys responding to something they got to dig up out of the ground? Nobody's talking about it, nobody's doing it. But I said, let me just set the record straight. I knew Mike very well. Matter of fact, I spent more time with Mike than with Larry. Because we're both in California. Larry's further out west, Larry Scott. We're both out in California, and I watch him go off the end, and it was sad. But in any case, I just wanted to take care of this, so you guys don't email me anymore about Mike Mentzer. I got enough emails. I decided I better say something about it, because I didn't get just one. I got a number of them.
That all of the muscles in your body can grow best on just a few sets a week is on principle wrong. Hey folks, Dr. Mike here for Renaissance Periodization. How does high intensity training, aka HIIT, measure up to modern sports science? Is it a good idea? Is it a bad idea? Or is it the worst idea ever? Curious. So, real quick, what the hell is HIIT training? It stands for high intensity training, and I think it was invented sometime in the 70s by a gentleman named Arthur Jones, who you could say sarcastically invented it to sell exercise machines, and which he did. He made great. He was the guy who fronted the Nautilus line, which is some of the best machines in history. So kudos to him. And it was popularized in the 1980s and beyond by a gentleman named Mike Mentzer, who was quite a good bodybuilder, not the best, never won the Olympia, but was excellent. And he really, really bought into the HIIT philosophy. What is HIIT, though? What is its ethos? It's difficult to debate HIIT with true adherents of HIIT because they move goalposts a lot, which a lot of us do in debate, so I don't blame them specifically for it. Because if you say this is HIIT training, they'll say, well, this really isn't HIIT training, this other thing is HIIT training, and they say, okay, this other thing is HIIT training, and other HIIT proponents will be like, no, this other third thing is HIIT training. So we can just do broad strokes, which almost no one will agree with. Compared to conventional training, HIIT prescribes at least 3 differences. 1, way higher relative effort, taking sets to failure usually or beyond. Whereas regular training may say, 3 reps shy, 2 reps shy, 1 rep shy, 0 reps shy, failure or beyond is all good stuff. In context, HIIT says, no, failure and or beyond. Forced reps, drop sets, stuff like that. Secondly, HIIT training tries to minimize the volume of training. They'll do only a few sets per session, not 10 sets or something. And thirdly, compared to conventional training, HIIT training usually reduces frequency, often opting for training a muscle only 1 time a week as opposed to multiple times a week. So as an example, normal quad training might be like, you do 6 sets of quads twice a week. That's 12 sets total. And, on average, 2 reps in reserve for the whole mesocycle. That seems like great training to me. Whereas HIIT training might be more like you do 3 sets of quads 1 time per week, but all 3 sets are taken to -5 RIR, which means after you went to failure, your buddy stripped some plates off and you did another 5 reps like beyond failure, like an instant drop set, or you did 5, whatever number of reps to failure, and let's say it's with some kind of cable sort of pressing machine, your buddy helped you on the concentric and then let go on the eccentric, and you wrote it down 5 reps beyond failure. something like that. Or at the bottom, you did some bottom stretch partials where you can't lock it out anymore, but you did down here, just moving as much as you can, stretching as much as you can until you just can't move at all. Total system failure with good technique. That's something that HIIT training would look much more like versus conventional training. As always, there are upsides and downsides to every system and every method. So, clickbait aside, thank you, Scott the video guy, and team, there will not be a part of this where I'm like, HIIT training's stupid, and I have feelings about it. No. HIIT training is valuable because it has some things going for it, and is less valuable because it has others. So let's parse them. HIIT training has some very serious upsides. First, you don't have a lot of sets to do. Your opportunity for growth is limited to just a few sets per muscle group per week. Or whatever interpretation of HIIT you're using, like the one Dorian Yates used, he did like 14 sets on average per muscle group per week, which is quite a few, but it's fewer than he would have done. And it's fewer than you would have done if you had done a different program instead of HIIT. And the constraint to a smaller number of sets vastly incentivizes you to have the highest set quality possible. Like, you got 3 sets of leg press to make shit happen. Each of those 3 sets, there's no mail-in, nothing. It better be great technique and super high relative effort, so the sets are ultra high quality. Because you don't got that many sets. You can't just do, well, a set of 10, that felt okay. I'll do another set of 10, that felt better. I do another set of 10, I wasn't really paying attention. Fine, one last set of 10, and then this time
Mike
I'll work
Mentzer's
on it.
training ideas,
It
I
makes
think
you
he
bring it,
promoted
which is an
excellent
awesome
principles for the vast majority of people. Train more intensely, do fewer sets with higher levels of effort, focus on progressive overload, and prioritize recovery. Most people just don't train hard enough, so this is great advice for them. However, he later promoted extremely low training frequencies, only going to the gym once every 4 to 5 days. Also, not training the same body part for up to weeks at a time, and literally only doing 1 to 2 sets for a muscle group in a workout. Like any training method, you can have solid principles, but the application can make or break the plan. Mentzer's application of HIIT is the perfect example of a solid training principle taken to the extreme. What do I think about Mike Mentzer's training ideas? I think he promoted excellent principles for the vast majority of people. Train more